Hey, let's get this going. All right. Good time to start the day. Good morning, and good morning, everybody. Hello, how's everybody doing today? Good to see everybody. Let's just give the room a minute to start, and we will be beginning. I hope everybody's doing great today. Wow, what a day in the market. By the way, it's very windy here today. Very, very windy. It's very sunny, cold, and it's windy. And to add insult to injury, the stock market's down pretty good. Let's let's get into this, right, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I had an opportunity to get a haircut yesterday. I don't look like a Chewbacca anymore, you know? Hey, David. Hey, Devin, Arnulfo, Tim, Chris, Richard, the sassy trainer, Infinitely. Hello, Infinitely. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a few days. Ed, David, Tom, Glenn, Ivano, Eduardo, Dave, Vernon. How are you, Vernon? Cam is in the house. Yay! How's the weather in New Mexico, Cam? Is it dry and windy, or is it moist? Dave is in the house. Brian, you've made it to Ohio. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, Brian. And let Matt know about. He finished the momentum section. I think he's just having an issue with the upper and lower, and I'll be talking about that today in the afternoon session. We got Robert, we got Genevieve, we got Gustavo, Karen, Gaston. How are you, Gaston? Good to see you. Good to see you here. It's been a while. Richard, Brian, Dave, Jeff, Debbie, Robert, Jill, Mont. How are you, Mont? Pete, Mike, Kevin, Art, Wayne, Mark, Blair, Debbie, Bruce, Samson, Edgar, Harold, Stephen. Oh, we got a lot of people here today. We got Raj, we got Bruce, we got Alan. Yeah, let's make some money. Exactly. Bruce, Steve, Mark, a Keyhawk fan, Raj, Harley user, John, Peter, good morning. Jody, Richard, Timothy, the sassy trainer. We have rain in the desert and chilly 40 degrees. Ugh. Richard from Puente Gorda. Rick, good morning, Rick. Got your message last night or this morning. Not sure which one it was. Jean, Rachel, very dry and super windy. Huh. So we were supposed to have a big rain yesterday. The rain was really big, and it lasted for like 20 minutes. That was it. And it got sunny. William, good morning to you too. You too. I hope South Florida is treating you well. Michael from East Orlando, some overnight showers, morning clear, cool, sunny, nice, nice. We're ready to go. Ali, good morning. Scott, Delroy, and folks, if I missed somebody, I am not doing it on purpose. Just a lot of people are here. So if I did miss your name, just say hello to me. Eagle Beagle's in the house. Deanna, CJ, Bruce, Angie, JB. We got a lot of people here. Tony, Illinois Gray Farmer, CJ Delbert, Steve, Bruce, Harry, and folks. Again, if I miss somebody, I apologize. I have the last thing I want to do is disrespect anybody. Kevin, hello. Rosalind, War Dog is in the house. Stan, Kyung. Ooh, under rain and wind. Huh? New York, winter. Jesse, good morning to you. We'll be starting in about 1 minute. We'll be starting in about 1 minute. And again, I hope everybody is doing great this morning. We have a lot to talk about. Hey, Charlie Clyde, how are you? All right. So let's begin. I hope everybody could see me okay. I hope everybody can hear me okay. And Clyde is somewhere around here taking notes as well. Hey, Dan. Hey, Charlie. Good to see everybody. All right, let's begin. We got almost 300 people in less than, we got a lot of people here today. Folks, if you don't mind, please go right here and give me a thumbs up. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, what's going on with this thing? I can't seem to. There we go. Boy, this thing is taking a long time to load today. Huh. Oh, well, I'll just leave it alone. That's very strange. All right, the thumbs up button is right below the video, basically. Hey, Dr. Serena, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Alexander, Rebecca, Eagle, good to see that all here. Hope is doing well. Yeah, me too. I hope everybody's doing what? Really good. All right, so let's begin. Let's begin, okay? The Nasdaq is down about 270 points. The Dow's down 370 points. Obviously, this is way beyond random by any stretch of the imagination. All right. Good morning, Harold. How are you? All right. All right. This is not random. All right. As far as Fed data, we have international trades in goods and services. We have jobless claims. I don't think the jobless claims is going to tell us anything new. I don't think the federal firing is going to come in here for the quarter at least. But these are the reports that are coming out today. We also have the employment report tomorrow and a whole slew of Fed speakers. This is going to be the big report for the week. And just to show you what I'm looking at, to highlight it for you right here. Let me give that to you. Average hourly earnings right here. All right, all right. And participation rate, also very important. These are going to be the numbers we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Today's report, and I'm going to make a prediction. They're looking at a little higher number. They're going to get something right around 220, 250, and they're going to say how it's an elevated number. But meanwhile, it's been in this range for as far back as I can remember. Hey, Robert, Mario, Kevin, Rick, Peggy. I didn't see Peggy. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's talk about earnings. Marvell did not do well. MDB did not do well. Zscaler, I don't know. I didn't read about Zscaler. Today we have Costco, JD, and AVGO. I'm very curious how these two will do. If any of these have come out already, please let me know. Please let me know, okay? I'm very curious to see. Top of the morning to you too, DJ. Hey, Ed. So I'm very curious. Remember, AVGO, big semiconductor and tech influence, and tech is already on the sliding board this morning. JD and Costco, this is an e-commerce site, Asian, and this is obviously everybody knows what Costco is, so I'm not going to talk about that. Costco, just like Target, very important. I want to see if this spruces up the retail sector or not, okay? Let's talk about everything that's on the table, and then I'll do the technicals, okay? So higher treasury yield, that's this right here. This coming off, yield moving down right here. I mean, bonds moving down, it increases yield. So they're talking about bonds. Whenever you hear the word yield increasing, just tell yourself bonds declining, okay? Yield increasing, bonds declining, okay? So trade war and disappointing tech earnings are waiting on sentiment. In my personal opinion, most of this has to do with the uncertainty of the trade war and the tech earnings. It's not just one; it's a combination of the two. Let's not blame the president for everything. The tech earnings coming down. Marvell, very influential stock. Semiconductors. Remember, I told you they're very essential. The problem is this: the Dow's down 400 points, and the only chip stock in the Dow is NVIDIA. So we have to really see what's causing this before we end the session today. Because if we don't see and if we don't discern what's really causing this, we're not going to find out whether it's getting better or not. We got to find out who the stinker is today, right? We got to find out who the stinker is today. Dan says survey was done before layoffs, so Fed layoff will not reflect. Yeah, they're not. Gaston said, JD, good earnings up nicely. Good. Well, that's good. Z, as better than expected, went up overnight. Good, good. Ray says, for conspiracy theorists, someone in the Trump circle must be making a for. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't have one. I don't. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, it gets very dangerous. But anyway, everybody's got an opinion. Marvell didn't do us any favors. MDB didn't do us any favors. This is greatly impacting tech stocks. But what is causing the Dow? What is causing the Dow to come off? That's what I want to know, right? That's the big question, because it's not isolated. This is spilling into the broad market. That's very dangerous, because you could, remember, we've had sessions where NASDAQ was down 150 points and the Dow was up 100 points. This is in concert. And this is also This is also reflecting that the Dow is down 400. That's about equivalent of about 250 on the NASDAQ. So there's something causing the broad market to cool off. NVIDIA down 3.4 pre-market. That will do it. That'll do it. It could be NVIDIA. We'll get into it. The doctor is going to Richard, the doctor is going to analyze every part of the market before the doctor is done today. We're going to get to the bottom of this. This is what we're here for. I need to know what the stinker is today. All right. Remember, the stinker is the one that caused the problem, and the stinker is going to be the one that relieves the problem. So chip stocks. We're definitely seeing chip stocks. And Alibaba Group unveiled its latest deep sea competitor. Now, this is very negative for us because Alibaba is a Chinese company. It's not an American company. This is an Asian company. So the fact that Asian is getting a competitor to DeepSeek and not American company, that's like adding insult to injury. So you've got tech stocks coming down because of earnings, chip stocks coming down of earnings, and you have this negative connotation that Alibaba is making a competitor, not USA. Very, very, very bad. Very, very bad. Jeff says Mags is a big stinker overnight. Yep. Let me continue. So the bond yield, I don't really, honestly, I mean, the bonds are down, but I mean, look, they're down 0.36. It really, I mean, this is not like a big deal. So, I mean, bonds are down, but I mean, I'm not seeing like a parabolic bar here or anything. So I don't think it's the bond market that's causing this downside. I really don't. I mean, the bond could be contributing to it. Definitely chip stocks, 100%. But there may be some more to this, okay? Yesterday's session, Wall Street ended in the green. Moderna surged over 15%, was the top percent gainer. They plan to make a personalized cancer vaccine by 2027. I mean, that's less than 2 years away, folks. That's amazing. Like from where I come from, that's amazing, which could represent quite large revenue. Auto stocks advanced after President Trump gave automakers a 1-month exemption for his 25% tariff. Again, I wish he would just do whatever he's going to do and move on. Whatever, I'm okay with whatever he's going to do. I'm good with all of it. Just do it and move on. But I will tell you this. I'm going to make a little prediction, and I'm going to kind of go a little forward right now. I'm going to make a little prediction right now. Here's my prediction. I know I'm going back and forth. I'm being a real bad, naughty boy right now, but here's my prediction. If this baby right here, the S&P 500, if this falls right here, guess who's going to be saying, I give up, no trade war, right here. Yes, our president. When we get here, so right now we're losing against the trade war. We're losing. The U.S. stock market is not appreciating this trade war. If we get down to here, it's going to start impacting our president in his pocketbook. He's not going to like that. Okay, so the market is telling us, folks, this tariff stuff is a horrible idea. We're not liking it. This is not me telling you this. The market's telling you. Folks, this tariff thing is a horrible idea. This is the last thing the market needs right now. This is what the market is telling you right now. So far, nobody's listening to the market. But once we get to this side of the wall, I can assure you, once folks start saying, we are in a bear market, we're below the 200-day moving average, I could assure you, tariffs? What tariffs? I never said anything about tariffs. What? So now you're probably thinking, Roger, you're not making much sense. Yeah, okay. All right. Just wait another couple of months and see what happens if the market comes down to here. You're going to forget everything you've heard about this tariff talk. Okay? All right, let's continue. Palantir rose more than 6%. William Blair upgraded the stock to market perform from underperform. CrowdStrike, another reason why the stock market is not doing well today. All right. Yes, Steve. Yes, affecting the national pocketbook, including his own. Exactly, Richard. Exactly, exactly, exactly. One thing I know about our president, one thing I know about him, he loves money more than anything else in this world. That I will tell you 1,000%. And that's a direct impact on his pocketbook right here. This is the world telling him, Mr. Trump, your tariff idea is not helping us. It's hurting us. It's hurting us a lot more than it's helping us. All the market has to do is go to this side of the wall. All right. All right. All right. Henry says, what did Henry say? Henry says, I don't know what Henry says about moving on. Yeah. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's continue. U.S. factory orders rose 1.7% in line with expectations, largest increase in 6 months. That's good. This is good. ISM manufacturing rose. Very good. Very good. Final estimate for global revised higher. Very, very good. Goldman Sachs said it's time to pull the plug on healthcare stocks. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to do a social experiment. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve said Wednesday its Beige Book survey of regional business contacts that U.S. economy activity increased slightly since mid-January, though business nationwide expressed uncertainty about new policies from Trump administration, especially regarding tariffs. Tariffs, tariffs. Maybe, maybe. Oh, I got you, Henry. Thank you. Oh, it was a Trump quote. Okay, got it. Let's move on. That, yeah, right. Let's move on. Right, right, right. I like that one. Right. Thank you, Henry. U.S. futures are pricing in a 93% chance of a no rate hike. The kid has his bike uh, hidden out of sight. Parents will never get to it. Daddy doesn't have a job. Mommy doesn't have a job. This all the stocks they had are starting to move towards the 200-day moving average. Okay. And there may be something I don't know about, but I'm going to tell you right now. If this baby goes below the 200-day moving average, oh, tariffs. Tariffs? What tariffs? On earnings front, Broadcom, Costco, KR, Hewlett Packard, all of these are coming out with earnings. This is very important because you have semiconductors and you have retail. Now, Kroger, Costco, BJ's. By the way, my dad's been going to this BJ's and he's been telling me that it's actually pretty cool. We just opened the new one here about 20 miles away, and he loves it. But HP, these are important for tech, and these are important for retail. These are going to be very important for the market. I think a lot of pain coming, and Trump will get blamed. Do we need to fix trade deficit? Yes, timing is tough, but this mess has been building since Nixon. Yes, but the problem is the worst thing for America, for Americans, is when the stock market's below the 200-day moving average. And that's going to put so much pressure under Trump's butt that he's going to turn red. All right. Initial jobless claims were released. They're coming out pretty soon. They're expecting to be a little higher. Again, I wouldn't really put too much into this number. Trade balance data is coming out. Look at this, Eagle Beagle. 128 billion compared to 98 billion in December. Doesn't look like we're fixing any trade balance right now. Cost is after the close. It's going to be a very important report. And because we have so much retail and so much stuff coming out after the close, I have a feeling what the market is going to do today. By the way, everybody in my trading pit, do you see today why I did not put on a trade yesterday? Yesterday, a lot of people were confused why I did not put a trade on yesterday. Do you now see why I did not put a trade in yesterday? Do you want to have this kind of vulnerability coming into the morning when you don't need to have it? Remember I told you yesterday there was like 30 stocks breaking out. I didn't like the downside. There was a reason why I didn't put a trade on yesterday. I literally looked through over 300 stocks yesterday. I literally looked over 300 stocks yesterday, and I could not find one good trade for you guys. By the way, let me give you a couple of CTAs real quick. Um, watch the March meltdown. Here's a link for that. Here's a video for you. Doesn't Trump already see that the market are a mess? He does. He does. That's why he's been saying the last few days, it's not nothing is cut in stone. He's trying. He's trying. Here's VIP room, and let me give you a link for customer service live. Let me give you a link for customer. Cam, what's on the agenda on customer service live today? I stayed out yesterday because Clyde told me so. That's right. He did. And he's very happy. Short trade would have worked out. Yes, Philip, short trade would have worked out. But here's the problem, Philip. Philip, you're not looking at things. We went from 446 stocks breaking down yesterday to 124 stocks breaking down yesterday. Do you want to revisit what you just said, Philip? No, I know, no. But no. You made a good point. You made a good point. He said I could have gotten short yesterday. He's right. We started the day with 446 stocks breaking down, and we ended the day with 124 stocks breaking down. So let me ask you a question, guys. If I went short yesterday, what would be the odds that that short trade would work my way? We started the day with 446 stocks breaking down, and we ended the day with 124 stocks breaking down. So, Philip, I'm going to ask you a question. When you said short trade would have worked out, do you still think the short trade would have worked out when we had 446 stocks breaking down yesterday, and then at the end of the day we had 124 stocks breaking down? I would say that the odds were 3-1. Yeah, thank you, Philip. 25% that my short would have been working out. 25%. Be very careful what you say, because the market was not bearish yesterday. The market was hyper bullish yesterday. Be very, very careful what you say. Just look for yourself what the odds were. 440. The odds are we would have went short one of these stocks. The odds are about 99%. Well, we started with 446. We ended with 124. So the odds were 75% against us making money to the short side yesterday. Right. Which is why I didn't. Cam says, plus how to paper trade. RJ says, thanks, Eagle Beagle, for summarizing what I was saying. Let me see what Eagle Beagle. Eagle Beagle always has something smart to say. President Trump is a businessman. If he is jammed up, he will pivot. Exactly, Eagle Beagle. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. He said exactly what I was thinking. I didn't say it, but that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, I agree with you. Eagle Beagle, I agree with you. RJ says, Eagle, yes, that's what I'm thinking too. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Thank you for saying exactly what I was thinking. I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Eagle Beagle. You're right. I agree with you. You have to say we're in a bear market. The bear is officially poked. But no, I agree with you. I agree with both RJ and Eagle Beagle. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's not going to win this war and he's going to pivot faster than you could say, who's your daddy? Let's continue. Let's continue. But I wanted to address that comment. Which was a good comment. Europe is not giving us tailwind. Now, notice yesterday, Europe was up like 1.6 or like 2%. The market skyrocketed here in the U.S. But yesterday, gave up earlier gains despite easing tariff fears, but still did not rally. Real estate and utility stocks led the decline. The reason I'm focused so much on Europe is because U.S. stocks have been following Europe. And a lot of this data that we get from the Fed, we've been getting it at night. Like yesterday, Trump made some stuff. I don't really follow what he says. I follow the reactions, but it's interesting because Europe gets to feel after the fact that market data that happens between 4 p.m. and midnight, it gets priced into that European. So right now with all these moves happening overnight, it's really important for us to see what Europe did. That's why he's also easing tariffs on agricultural goods. Yeah. He's going to change his position on food today. Perfect, perfect. I think he's going to change his position on most things. Most things. China ended higher today, and actually that's exactly what I was saying. I think he's going to pivot. Thank you for saying that, Eagle Beagle. You're absolutely right. As expectations grew that the country would roll out more stimulus measures to achieve its ambitious growth target for the year, software and insurance stocks led the gains on Thursday. I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to trade two of the most unrelated sectors, it would probably be software and insurance. This is about as techy as it gets, and this is about as blue chippy as it gets. So it's kind of interesting that China was higher and both in the US it's lower. So we're getting absolutely no tailwind here, okay? Yeah, but I do agree with what I think he's going to pivot. Japan closed higher today, tracking overnight gains on Wall Street. What gains on Wall Street? Like who writes this, okay? Rally came after the White House announced a 1-month tariff reprieve for auto imports from Mexico and Canada. That's a great start. They also signaled that, and Eagle Beagle, I highlighted this before you had a chance to speak your position this morning. But look what I highlighted. Trump is open to additional tariff concessions. He's open to additional tariff concessions. He's not, folks, with all the stuff that we're saying about Trump, he's not stupid, okay? He's not stupid. And the last thing he wants is for the U.S. market to go into a bear market. So I'm telling you right now, if the U.S. stock market starts coming to this side of the wall and we start getting headlines, we're in a bear market, the U.S. stock market's in a bear market, which we've been in the last 3 weeks. Most people just don't know that, but we've been for the last right here, last 2 weeks. We've been in a bear market. But if the S&P starts getting there, oh boy, he's going to change his tune faster than you could say, who's your daddy? If the U.S. is following Europe a few minutes ago, European Central Bank, they don't follow 100%, but they tend to weigh off of each other. That's good to know about agricultural easing. We need that like yesterday, okay? Let's see what else we got. But this is good. The fact that he's open to making additional tariff concessions, that's telling me he's willing to negotiate. And he's not going to have a choice. His back is going to be against the wall if the U.S. stock market keeps interpreting his reaction to tariffs this way. I know, Kevin, I know, but the headlines haven't hit yet. This is one of the biggest problems today, Marvell. Marvell, it doesn't have a lot of market cap, but it sure has a lot of influence. Mongo, I believe this is a networking company. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Also didn't do well. Here is the stinker. Here is the stinker of the day. He's pivoting more than a square dancer. I love you guys. You guys are great. Majority of S&P overnight move happened after midnight. Thank you, Dan. Somebody must have wrote this about Japan. They must have wrote this before midnight. That's probably what happened. This may be a temporary pullback, though. Well, we'll talk about that. We're going to get into all of this, folks. There's a reason why we're here. I haven't got the technicals yet. Please give me a chance. Give me a chance. Database, right? Database. So this is the big stinker. So we have sentiment from tariffs, and we have a lot of sentiment from semiconductors. Zscaler did good. Thank you. I guess I did have this. I didn't realize, but thank you for giving it to me. But Zscaler did good. This is cybersecurity. But the problem today is clearly in chip stocks. Clearly in chip stocks. So let's break everything down. Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing today? Bitcoin's not down. The highest in history S&P put volume yesterday. I'll talk about that, JB. I'll talk about that. It is funny what Carlos said. He's pivoting more than a square. So look, Bitcoin's now moving back up. That's a very positive sign. Why? Because megacaps are correlated to Bitcoin. That's very, very positive. Okay, all right. So something is moving in the right direction. And what happened to Bitcoin when it almost flirted with the 200-day moving average? It bounced back really, really hard. It bounced back. We're still looking at the forest. We'll move closer to the trees in a minute. Yes. Now we're getting to the trees. We just kind of looked at, so far, all we did is we took a helicopter and we were 1,000 feet and we were just kind of like circling the area. Now we're going in for the landing. Now we're going closer to the trees. Now we're examining the trees. We haven't looked at the leaves yet. We're just looking at the trees now. Do you see credit tightening in the US more as we get into uh, Eagle Beagle? I don't know if I see credit tightening. I don't see credit loosening up. I think it's going to be status quo for some time. I don't think we're going to get so here's what I think. Going back to what I think, no, because I think he's going to pivot much faster. I think Trump is going to blink much faster than he's giving off, which we need desperately. And again, he is a businessman. He's going to pivot. He's not retarded. He doesn't want his bank account to shrivel. He has a lot of money in stocks too, okay? So Bitcoin is not breaking down. And Bitcoin told us it doesn't want to break the 200. Let's look at megacaps. How much are megacaps down? Megacaps are down 1.75, but they resisted the 200-day yesterday really hard, just like the stock market did. Okay. I could see some giraffes from the helicopter. All right. How about the bond market? So megs are down 1.75. SMH is down 3%. Bingo, we have our stinker. Here is our stinker. How much is the SPY down? Remember, we work downwards. The SPY is only 1.23. What about QQQ? Let's look at QQQ. 1.5. Okay. So it's not broad tech. It's broad chips. Chips is clearly the stinker. See how I highlighted this for you right here? Oh, sorry. Where is it? I highlighted it here for you. Right here. This is the problem right here. Unveiling, there's confidence being so now let's now talk about, now let's get specific. Now we've circled the helicopter and we now see ground zero. We see what ground zero is. Now we're seeing ground zero. We haven't got there yet. We don't know how much it's burned, but we're above on the helicopter and now we're seeing ground zero. This is ground zero. We have a double whammy. Roger, what do you mean double whammy? Well, let me tell you what I mean by a double whammy. You've got the deep sea competitor telling US stocks basically, hey, not only do we have deep doo-doo, but we've got another one, and it's not you guys having it, we have it in China. Alibaba. Now we have two deep, we have now, not only do we have deep doo-doo, but we have a competitor to deep doo-doo, and you guys can't even beat deep doo-doo. It doesn't sound like I'm talking about some. I mean, you should make a comedy special out of this. Deep doo-doo, Baba doo-doo, Alibaba doo-doo. There's a lot of doo-doos here. So this DeepSeek has a competitor now at a lower price, but it's not in the US, it's in China. That's insulting to us. So not only are they beating us, but they have a competitor at a lower price that's beating us, allegedly. And to add insult to injury, Marvell plunged 16%. The stinker is very clearly right here. That's the stinker today. So we've identified ground zero. Killed earnings, but there must be something for. All right, let's continue. Bond market. Is the bond market really doing anything? No, the bond market's down. It's doing nothing. Yield doesn't have anything to do with it. And what about tariffs? No, this is not a tariff issue today. This is a deep doo-doo issue today. Deep doo-doo's getting us back into deep doo-doo trouble. Chips, marvelous chips. Yes, deep doo-doo messing with chips. So we're starting to see what's causing all this heartache. It's not Trump this morning. It's not his tariffs. It's deep doo-doo and tech stocks because chips are down twice what Nasdaq is. So it's clearly this. Like, let me show you. XLI, for example, let me show you. Blue chips down 1%. How about XLB? Unchanged. How about XLY? Consumer discretionary. 1.4. But what about SMH? We've identified the culprit. We've identified the stinker. Chinese market. All right. All right. At least we don't have to fly our we don't have to fly our aircraft 50 miles back and forth. Now we're circling the troublemaker, okay? US dollars breaking down. US dollars breaking down. This is not necessarily bad. This is not necessarily bad. I don't like the fact that it's breaking down this bad. This is tariffs. This is tariffs, folks. This is tariffs. This is precipitous breakdown. All right. What is gold doing? Gold is down 0.72. Gold is not giving us flight to quality, which means this is impacting the full economic market. This is tariffs. This is tariffs right here. So you have a combination of a real weak US dollar, and I don't mean coming down, I mean falling apart below the 200-day moving average, okay? And gold is not rallying really hard on this news. That's not a positive sign. We're not seeing flight to quality. We're seeing money being taken out of markets. All right. Press Secretary Carolina was telling the press tariffs, which is horrible. The president must direct her only to use the word reciprocal tariffs when speaking of tariffs to the children. That's insightful. Only way you get this by cutting costs. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Love how you detective out the specifics do that for us. Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. And yes, folks, I think our president is not retarded, and I think he's going to pivot, and I think he's seeing the writing on the wall already. He's definitely seeing it in his IRA account. Crude oil. Crude oil is continuing to move lower. Obviously, weak U.S. dollar is great for commodities. Expect some potential upside on commodities, commodity-related stocks today, because U.S. dollar is worth less. When the US dollar is worth less, it attracts a lot less money into America. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Trump wants money to come into America, or do you think Trump wants money to come out of America? I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story. I have like a minute for this. I'm going to take a little detour. It has nothing to do with what we're doing. Tell you guys a little story. You guys know I'm really big on the whole mobster shows. I love watching the mobster shows. I love all that stuff, all the cocaine shows, the drug show. I love that stuff. I love watching that stuff. All that Scarface type of shows. Anyhow, do you guys know when we had the drug war in Miami back in the 70s? Do you know when the US government got involved? The U.S. government got involved when they found out, not when they found out that we were rebuilding Miami with coke money, which was going on. Miami was built with cocaine money. America got involved, not when they found out about that. They got involved, aggressively involved, when they found out that the money from drugs was not staying in America. Okay? It wasn't because we were selling drugs and making money hand over fist and rebuilding money, and all the banks in Miami were being flagged by. It was when money started leaving America. The last thing USA wants is US dollars leaving America. Leaving America. Okay? Just wanted so when the money started coming, when the money started going back to Colombia and Mexico and other countries, that's when the U.S. government got involved. So why am I telling you this story? Because the last thing U.S. wants is money leaving America. Money leaving America. That's what this is. All right? All right? So and by the way, this is nothing to do with, I'm just telling you, the last thing USA wants is money leaving America. Okay? Crude oil going up. China's higher up because of this deep doo-doo. Yes. So what's causing the US market to come down today? We have a very good picture right now. We have a very, very good picture right now. Okay? SMH is down over 3%. The US dollar is breaking down really hard, not just coming down, breaking down. Money leaving America. And China sentiment getting higher as an insult to injury with this deep doo-doo, which already caused a big friction to NVIDIA. Let's look at the Dow. Down 1%, but let's look at NVIDIA. Oops, sorry, wrong ticker symbol. Do you guys understand what I'm just saying? And by the way, it has nothing to do with our president. It has nothing to do with Republicans versus Democrats. Stop trying to make this political. This is not political. See NVIDIA? Remember X marked the spot? We bounced off and now we're coming back down. Dow's down 1%, NVIDIA's down 3%. So I want you guys to see what the troublemaker today is. See how we're dissecting, we're getting closer and closer and closer to everything? KR out of, CEO announced resignation. Yeah, I mean, how it's not good. Could involved in the coup we started. We painted a good picture. I'm just being honest with you guys. And if you don't believe me, look at history. Look when America started getting really tough on drugs. Watch the movie Cocaine Cowboys. It's a biography on Prime, Amazon Prime. It's free. Great show. All right, let's continue. Volatility. Well, I got good news for you. Volatility still has not broken this level right here. Let's look at the stock market in comparison. What's the stock market doing? You see how we're already down here, right? But look at volatility. Is volatility breaking this area? No. Okay. So volatility is not reacting nearly as much as the stock market. Nope. That's one positive for us. Okay. Very positive for us. Okay. Momentum levels actually improved yesterday. Went from 41 to 42.89 towards the end of the day. Who was telling me to trade short yesterday? Bad idea. The market was going up almost the entire day yesterday. And there was no longs. There was 30 stocks breaking out yesterday. So I couldn't trade long. And if I traded short, I would be trading against the flow. So love the step-by-step detective. Good. Let me give you some links. Some links for some March blowout link right here. Let me give you my VIP room. We're going to be a real big detectives in the VIP room today because we're going to have a lot more clues to deal with. Call me Roger Sherlock Holmes. And let me give you customer service live link. Yes, there's divergence between. Now, so the fact that volatility isn't up here or even up here is a very positive sign. The fact that yesterday, markets were actually opened way bearish and closed way bullish is a very positive sign. Now I'm going to show you something else. This is put to call ratio. Roger, you haven't shown us this in a very long time. Yeah, I only pulled this out now. And by the way, when we were live last week, Kane mentioned this. He said, Roger, you don't seem to be using this a lot. And I said, I still use it once in a while. But I want to show you guys something. This is the level of put buying to call buying. And typically, when we see huge amount of put buying, we have a turnaround. Yes, that's correct. You see where we're at now? We're at 76, and we went the last 3 days to 69. This is, by the way, this is my bottom right here. Typically, when we come down here, we tend to revert. Notice how close we are to the bottom. That means there's been significantly more put buying than call buying. And typically, when we have a lot of put buying, we tend to revert. So we're already at 76, and the floor here is 70. Now, the reason why I don't use this very often and show this to you is because 99.9% of the time, it's just noise. You want to use this only when we're near approaching 70 or when we're above 120. I used to use this a lot more often because the markets used to move a lot more like this, but they don't right now. So I'm telling you that right now there's a huge amount of put buying. And typically when we get more put buying, we turn around, which is telling me that this move in the SPY is more likely a consolidation or wide range volatility as opposed to a directional move lower. What does that mean? It means that more likely than not, we're going to consolidate around here. We're going to consolidate. Remember I told you Tesla? I gave you an example a few days ago, or actually yesterday, and I said, look what happened when we get here. We typically consolidate, right? We typically consolidate. I told you this yesterday. I mean, I used this as an example. And right here, and right here, see how we went down and how we're building a base? Well, Roger, why is the market down? Why is the market down 300 points? Well, because volatility is, we went from 585 to 573. Look on the Dow how much this is. Look at the Dow Jones. 42,374, 43,085. You've got 600 points here. 43,100, 42,004. You've got 600 points here. So right now, the market is just moving sideways. But because volatility is about 600 points, it's showing up, and it's showing up like this morning. But if you look at the Dow, you will see that we've been fluctuating between 42,400 to 43,100 in just one session yesterday. So there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of volatility here, but there's not a lot of directional bias, which means we can open down today. We can open down today at one. We can open down right here at 42,500 and go all the way to 43,000. There's a lot of volatility, but there's not a lot of directional bias. So based on what I'm seeing right now so far, I'm seeing a lot of volatility and I'm seeing the markets opening near the low, but I'm not really seeing any follow through. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the bond market is not really down a lot. Volatility is not spiking above yesterday's high, or 2 days ago, or the high above that this morning, and it should be. It's actually making lower highs, right? We've already had a chance for the market to trade overnight quite some time, and there's no real price discovery right now. And what has the market been doing on a 5-minute basis? So we're just kind of consolidating here. Looks like we made a low almost 40 minutes ago, and we've been going higher since then. So the question is, are we going to break the low overnight? That area is 575. Put in 575 on the S&P. Let's look at VIX. Is this helpful to you guys? Does this relieve a little stress for you guys? For volatility, we want to see volatility breaks 24. It's at 2362. We want to see if it breaks 24 or breaks 23.25. 24 or 23.25. The next level is 23. All right. Um, we'll see in a minute. We'll see in a minute. We haven't had anything turn around yet, but we'll see in a minute. I'll answer your question in a minute. What about other sectors? Well, the Dow choppy, not breaking down. No, choppy. QQQ, choppy, choppy around the 200-day moving average. Choppy. Okay. SMH. Watch this area right here, 217.97. 217.97. All right. All right. What about sectors? Let's look at sectors. Let's look at 90/10s real quick. Nope. Zero to the short side, none to the long side. You will have quite a bit to the long side. If we reverse and start moving up, you're going to have a lot up here. So intraday, I'll start looking at 90/10s. And if we open down and start moving up, this number will start increasing substantially. But so far, we're not there yet. What about our sectors? Let's look at so not yet. The answer is not yet. By the way, folks, how many thumbs up do we have? Let's see. How many thumbs up do we have? 234. If you guys don't mind, there's a thumb ups button right below the video. We have 234 thumbs up and we have 630 people in the room. All right. So put the call ratio bottoming out, consolidation, most places, gold not reacting very much, volatility not reacting very much, as you could see right here, not really going crazy at all. As a matter of fact, coming down the last 15, 20 minutes. What about sectors? Let's look at sectors. Well, semiconductors are still here. Remember what I said. We want to see technology start moving here. Have we started seeing that yet? No. Aside from Bitcoin, no. You still have real estate, healthcare, consumer staples. Communications shouldn't be here. It should be down there. And consumer discretionary should be here too. If these can stay up here, maybe that'll be a precursor to moving the broad market higher, the broad tech sector higher. But technology, semiconductors, Russell 2000, interest rate is still here on the lower end of the range. I want to see this start moving up here. We only have two, communication and consumer discretionary. The rest are down here. I want to see these up here, okay? Momentum levels. We literally have 50% of stocks trading at the 50-day moving average, folks. And yesterday, this number was 48%. That's right there. When this gets below 50, game over. What about NASDAQ? 51%. NASDAQ Composite, 32 and 44. Russell 1000, boom, you have a bear market. That's 1,000 of the biggest stocks in the market right now. And if you go smaller, you could see 2,000, 3,000. This is the small cap. This takes everything in. 3,000 takes both of these into account. This is a mix of these two. 41%. Oh, wait a minute. A mix, 41%. Where else are we seeing that number, 41%? Bingo. All stocks priced over $2. The Russell 3000 will simulate pretty much this right here because it has 3,000 of the largest stocks. So you could see right now, that momentum levels on the small caps are much worse than momentum levels on the large caps. Okay? So, do we have strong momentum to the downside? Last night we didn't. We started yesterday at 446 and we ended the day at 124, which means the market bottomed out yesterday in the morning and then went straight up. What am I expecting today? Well, I hate to say this, but I'm pretty much expecting the same thing. Unless we get knocked out on the lows, we're just going to bottom out around here. Also, I was looking at Apple yesterday, which is still the biggest company in the world last time I checked. And Apple was trying to break this level yesterday and it couldn't. And look how fast it pulled up. So I'm seeing more consolidation than anything else. Ooh, it's cold here. Got to put on a jacket. Consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. I know. You're probably thinking, Roger, it looks really nasty right now. No, no. I think this may be the bottom or close to the bottom. I don't think we're going to open down and go much further down. I think we're going to open down and either sit there for quite some time and start coming up towards the end of the day. I also think my ex-partner, Kevin Hassett, is going to have a little come to Jesus talk with our president and explain to him what being below the 200-day moving average could mean for the market, and explain to him that he's going to be in the headlines quite a bit if that happens. And the last thing Trump wants to be in the headlines for is causing a bear market. Oh, and by the way, for all of you who are going to blame it on Biden, no. This is the election right here. This is the election VWAP. Everything that happens from this point is on President Trump's territory right here. Everything that happens here, you can blame Biden on. Everything happens here is our President Trump's territory right here. Let me highlight it for you. From this date right here. This is Trump land right here. And guess what happened 2 days ago? Trump's policy took us back to Biden's policy. Trump will not like that. We are now back to where Biden was the president. You see that? That's the last thing Trump wants. His ego is bigger than all of our pockets book put together. So we are right now, his shtick put us back to where we were. I don't think he's going to want that. Okay? Oh, if he tells us that these tariffs are done, we're going to bolt and come up here, and it'll be like, what? Tariffs? What? Yeah, so I think he's going to do that. He's going to try to save the day, and I hope he does. There's going to be paid to clean up. There's going to be paid to clean up the Biden mess. Well, all I'm saying is that the Trump administration stock market started right here. That's all I'm trying to say, and then we're back to Biden world right here. So just letting you know, and Trump will not want to hear that. He's going to be very upset about that. And again, look at where we're at. So what do I expect to see here? Exactly what I told you on Monday when I showed you Tesla. I expect consolidation here, which means the market's going to be doing this right now. His ego is bigger than why go back to the election rather than the inauguration. Because the inauguration, because there was no price discovery on the inauguration. You know, a lot of people ask me that. Folks, election, we found out who the new president was going to be. Inauguration, nothing new. There was no price discovery for inauguration. So it's always, here we found out whether Biden or Trump was going to, whether Kamala or Trump was going to be the next president. So it starts right here. The VWAP doesn't go to the inauguration. Inauguration is just a ceremony to confirm what we learned right here. There's no price discovery on inauguration. There's price discovery when we learned who the new president was going to be. So after, this is why we have the VWAP here, because all volume weighted price from this point on tells us exactly what the market is thinking based on the new president volume weighted. And the market just crapped out 3 days ago and said, nope. Under Trump, tariff policies, everything Trump's been doing, the market says we're going back to the value of Biden era, which is right here. And folks, this is the clearest example of that as I can give you. Here's the election. Here's the VWAP. Here's where we're at right now. Here's the rectangle. And again, please, I don't want to get into politics. This is just how market is interpreting politics, not politics. So, and yeah, inauguration doesn't mean anything. It's the election. We already knew what Trump's policies were going to be. He was telling us all. One thing about Trump, you never have to guess what he's thinking. He tells you. He was telling us all through here what he was going to do, and here he won the election. The market rallied. It apprised his right here. And here's the rectangle where we've been, and right here for 3 days. You guys could see it as clear as day right here. Here's the election. Here's all the Trump policies, and here we're back here. And if we break this, oy vey. So I think we're going to see what to tell you again what I started off with this week. I think we're going to see what we've been seeing with Tesla consolidation around the 200-day with a little bump, kind of like taking us here, and with a big question mark of what happens next. That's where uncertainty was eliminated. Yeah, impacting market, but the positive impact on the economy won't be felt until the tax break has passed. I don't know, Brett. I don't know. I don't recall Trump saying he wanted Canada and Greenland during the campaign. But he did say it during here, right? I mean, at some point here, he said that. Whatever he says gets priced into the market within 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Yeah, very hard. And by the way, we've been doing pretty good. Actually, we've been doing really good. We had two losers in the pit since this time. Not bad. Two or three losers. All right, stocks that I'm giving like for today. Let me give you shorts first. I got to get out of here. I'm late to work. If this breaks the 200, ba-boom. Don't do anything till it breaks. A lot of stocks are at the 200. Victoria's Secrets. I don't think she has any more secrets left, but hey, you never know. AAP. Carlos says, but Professor, listen to your words carefully, and you said you weren't convinced that we bullish another words week rally. I bought spot Friday put on SPY, and I expected a pullback, not this good. Listen your words carefully, and you said you weren't convinced. Yeah, I'm not bullish. No, no, no. I remember. Here's folks for anybody who's just coming in here. Today's Wednesday, right? No, today's Thursday. On Monday or Tuesday, I showed you Tesla, and I said, look what happens when Tesla, when we get into key levels, we tend to do this. We don't just go down. We don't go up. We tend to do this. And somebody here even pointed out that it happened during the 50-day moving average. And then I showed you the spider, and I said, we're coming near key levels. And I showed you Tesla, and I showed you spider. And I said, a lot of people think we're going to just bounce right back. The most likely scenario is exactly what happened to Tesla, which is exactly what's happening right here. Yeah. Reducing number of stores. Ooh, really, Parker? Thank you for that. So now, folks, did I not say that on Monday or Tuesday regarding Tesla and Gate and used Tesla as an example of a metaphor for the broad market? Did I not do that? As I'm doing right now. Did I not do that? I dare anybody to tell me that I did not do that earlier this week. More than once. I did. Down. Ooh, it's windy. I'm cold just hearing the wind. CNK, not the first time I'm giving you Victoria's Secrets, not the first time I'm giving AAP. Yeah, Wes says yes, Robert says yes, Mark says yes, Cheryl said yes. Yeah, I did. I used Tesla. I specifically even used that as an example. Now, this is people usually buy these Winnebagos during strong economies. Right now, we don't have a strong economy. I like the stock. I kind of want to sell the stock near the VWAP, but I'm watching the stock carefully today. Steve Madsen shoes, not doing so well. A little overextended. CA Elm, calm. You did, yeah. You have a fungus? I'm sorry, Rochelle, about your fungus. I apologize. So sorry to hear about your fungus. Folks, don't do anything with calm Maine. It's at the 200. It's got to break the 200 first. I love this chart, but it's got to break the 200. OKE. Yeah, I said it about 5 times. Yep, I did. Oh, now here we have a break. We have a 200 break. Now here we can short this. I'm not, folks, I'm not that bearish today. I'm really not that bearish. I'm not that bearish. I'm not that bullish. Nice break on Campbell Soup. This is, by the way, an A line, and I think we can come down all the way to about 37. Trump underestimated how dearly Americans love drugs and illegals. Oh my goodness. Dennis, that's the funniest thing I've heard. That's the funniest thing I heard today. That's the funniest thing I heard today. This is why I have these sessions. You can't make this stuff up if you tried. Trump underestimated how dearly Americans love drugs and illegals. So sorry. That was very funny. That was very, very funny. Okay. Dennis, that was very funny. Folks, I do have a sense of humor, and that was very funny. Okay. Let's talk long stocks. CVS. I would wait for it to break above this high, but it's almost there, and it's respecting the 8-day very well. Um, PLD. Oh, Matt's gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be late for work again today. We got it. It's in a channel. This has to break above. Please don't do anything right here. It's in a channel, but it is respecting the 8-day. HSBC. That's funny. Yeah, Carlos, I would do what Rich just said. Listen to what Richard just said. I would take your profits near the morning. I would, and then wait for half an hour and see what happens. But I would take your profits and run in the morning because I'm feeling a lot more choppiness today than I'm feeling bullish. FR, that's a nice looking stock right there. WPC. Every time I try to get out of here by 9, and I never do. WPM. Now there's two metal stocks. There's now Wheaton and there's also FNV. I gave you guys I this is the stock that I missed yesterday in the pit. This was the stock that I wanted to buy yesterday, and Carlos even sent me a reminder saying, Roger, it's at the VWAP, but I had so much uncertainty about the market that I just couldn't press the button. But this was my favorite stock yesterday that I told you I liked in the pit, but didn't give you an official trade on. I apologize. I just didn't have a lot of confidence in the market yesterday, and I still don't. Root. And notice my stocks to the upside are not that beautiful. We're not seeing like 10 plus setups. This is a 10 plus setup, but the rest were eh. ASTS, not a lot of stocks to the upside either. And BEKE. Yeah, say hello to my little friend. Okay. So Richard's still in FNV. Good, 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 good. Okay. So, what do I think is going to happen today? I think the market's going to be choppy. I think it's going to find a bottom pretty close. I think that the 200-day moving average is going to act as support. I think the market may scare us this morning into thinking that it's going to have a strong breakdown. But I think ultimately the market's going to come around here, make another low, and come right back up like it's been doing the last few days. So, what I would be looking for is a bottom in the first hour or two of the day. Caveat, caveat. If the market doesn't continue slowly going down and doesn't bottom in the last hour of the day, and if volume comes in around the 200-day moving average, I would be careful. I don't think that's going to happen today. I think there's too much news ahead of report tomorrow, and I don't think institutions are going to want to take the market down. I think the report tomorrow is going to be positive, and I think the market may actually rally. So I think we're close to bottoming out here. Also notice the low here is lower than here and lower than here, and if this is the bottom, we're going to go higher. Don't expect the high to be much higher than yesterday, but expect some volatility potentially favoring the upside. At the worst case scenario, I'm expecting a lot of volatility without a lot of directional bias. I am not going to. I'll probably do some day trading in the pit, S&P day trading. I'm not going to trade any directional stocks to the downside unless I see a major breakdown, which I'm not expecting. I'm not going to be trading stocks to the upside till I get confirmation. What does that mean for you in the pit? It means you're going to be SOL for a while, and you're going to be really patient, and you're going to sit on your hands, and you're going to wait for me to find a good stock. And if I don't find a good stock, you're not going to be complaining and saying, Roger, you promised me a trade or two a day, because I'm trying to help you make money. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything that I did not answer, please let me know, And let me give you links once again. My email is roger@rogerscott.com. And yeah, I think Trump is going to back down on the tariffs over the next couple of weeks. A lot. And I mean a lot. And I think we're going to, I don't think he's going to win this tariff war. And I think the market is going to, for now, hold the 200-day moving average, bottom out around here, and possibly come up. If I'm wrong, then you're going to see the market start to head down towards the second part of the day. That should not happen today. If that happens today, then we're probably going to break these areas. I don't think that's going to happen today. What is my ratio? I'm 10% bullish, I'm 20% bearish, and I'm 60-70% neutral. I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. I got to get to work. Bye, guys. I hope this was helpful to you. Please hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Please, please, please don't go increasing your short exposure at the open. Take profit on your shorts and wait to see what happens.